Hello and welcome back to Deep Dive Cinema, the only podcast where I want to be Tracer.
I'm already Tracer.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. That was our epic TikTok joke of the week.
Like a phoenix from the fire, we're back, we're revitalized, and we're bringing in the latest TikTok memes.
Yeah, well, I thought, let's get in touch with the younger audience. Hey guys, we're back. We're recording on a Sunday night, which is the day that we're supposed to upload on, but we never seem to manage to record on a Friday or Saturday as we used to, and it really hurts the amount of views that we get. Yeah. So we're keeping it up.
Yeah, baby.
It's the only podcast where our main goal is to make sure nobody listens to us. That's why we upload usually 3 a.m. also.
Yeah.
3
a.m. on a Monday.
Yeah, it's, the prime opportune window.
Just when every week we record, and every week there are more copper coins on your desk. It's now looks like one of those game shows where you have to get the coins to drop off the edge.
Yeah, I have a lot of copper coins. Well, they're no good, are they?
No, you can't really use them.
You carry them around. You sound like a bloody Christmas advert.
Yeah. You're not going to go in and buy a bottle of Pepsi and be like, right, let me just count out my 100 1-cent coins.
No, you really aren't. Yeah, my desk is a mess, but I only really use my laptop on it, so that's about all the space I need.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you, Ellie?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, doing pretty all right.
We got some trailers. It's obviously big film season, but we've not seen any since.
No, we haven't seen any since the reviews we did last week, but we might see Aquaman or Into the Spider-Verse in the coming days, maybe. So
my friend saw Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
I tried to say Into the Spider-Man, but then at the last second was like, no, Elliot, it's verse.
It's just one of those shows where they shrink someone down to blood cell size, and then he goes in Spider-Man's ear.
And he said it was amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Also, I'm looking forward to Aquaman. I
like how you winked for this podcast.
Well, I wasn't. You weren't supposed to reveal that. I was winking at you to let you know that I'm not really looking forward to Aquaman, but I wanted them at home to think that we care about DC.
Me too.
I could hear you winking there.
Yo, are you able to hear yourself wink?
No.
Because some people can, and that's weird.
Does it do a squelch noise?
Yeah, it makes a little wet noise when they wink.
You ever do it where you smile and it makes a squelch and you're like, oh, that's the worst.
You're never going to smile again.
No, definitely not. Man, we're really stuttering on the takeoff today, aren't we? We're struggling to get off the runway. So we'll try and see one of them. I put a poll out on our Twitter. You can follow us at Deep Dive Cinema to see if people prefer Black Manta or Ocean Master as a villain, because I thought it'd be interesting to see what the general Twitter we have one follower now, by the way, on Twitter, so yeah, we're hitting the big leagues, boys. But yeah, so it's 60%. No, actually, it's 62% in favor of Black Manta.
Yeah.
To 38% in favor of Ocean Master.
I think maybe the problem with Ocean Master is there's a lot of other characters like him. There's a lot of. You got your Loki. You've got your Killmonger. You've got so many characters who are like, I'm the king now.
Yeah, it should be my rightful throne.
Yeah, you've got Scar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I think also with those characters,
everyone in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you're right. Brother, half brother, complete stranger, it doesn't matter. Everyone thinks that they own the throne.
Yeah.
I think though that Black Manta is only going to be in this for a very small amount of the film. He's not going to be a principal villain.
No, and hopefully that won't be because he's just killed. Yeah,
hopefully. No, I'd say they'll probably do kind of basically the same way that M'Baku was in Black Panther, maybe, where it's acknowledging that he's
in the world. Yeah. Did you ever see the animated Justice League films, Justice League War and Justice League, the other one with Aquaman?
I've not seen the one with Aquaman, but I've seen a different Justice League film, and I've seen Justice League versus Teen Titans.
Yeah, it's the same kind of animated universe, but in that one Black Manta's in it, and he's pretty cool, and he's about to fight like the Flash or someone, and he's standing on the docks, and then he just gets eaten by the world's giant shark. It's just massive. He just eats the entire dock and swims away. And I was like, I was looking forward so much to that fight scene with Black Manta, but there he goes.
I'd like that in the film if that was just he just got eaten immediately. Yeah. I don't know. I'll see the film, and I quite like James Wan, the director, and I've heard that he's done some, because he does a lot of horror, and he's done Saw and The Conjuring and stuff like that, and I believe that from everything I've heard, there's a lot of good kind of horror aspects when they go into like the deep trenches of the ocean and stuff like that, which I think sounds pretty promising actually. And also we're seeing Dolph Lundgren right off the back of Creed 2, so I don't know who he's playing, but probably one of the rulers of the 7 cities of Atlantis.
Didn't you say that he should be playing someone called Dolphin, who's just a dolphin but with his face?
No, that was my dad's joke. I'm not going to take credit for that one.
Yeah,
that's good though. I'd be about that.
Yeah, I mean that's cool because the ocean is terrifying.
Yeah,
now, I recently learned that giant isopods, which are like the wood lice that live in the ocean, they hunt sharks and eat them alive.
Nice.
And they capture them and keep them as slaves until they want to eat them. They just trap them until they're ready to eat those bad boys, and I haven't slept since.
Yeah, well, luckily they didn't actually go into the ocean to film this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Doesn't Aquaman, his ability to not talk to fish but control fish comes from the trident that he gets when he becomes King of Atlantis, right? Because in the Justice League film, he has like a 5-pronged trident.
Oh yeah.
So it's a
quintant.
Quintant, I guess. But then in this one, I think he gets the original trident.
Yeah, I think there was something like only the ruler gets the trident.
Yeah, but so without that, he doesn't have the ability to talk to fish. So why are there talking to fish jokes in Justice League, and why can he talk to fish as a child in the trailer?
Because shut up.
You're right.
I think maybe they're going to skip that aspect in the films.
So he can just talk to fish.
Yeah.
So can all Atlanteans do that, or just members of the royal lineage?
It's kind of just some people have powers. Like Mera,
like mermaid.
Okay, yeah.
Mera, yeah.
She can shape water and make water weapons, and I don't think he can do that. So I think everyone's just kind of at childbirth. They have a big spinning wheel, and they're like, "What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?" Oh, and it's water manipulation.
Well, because I went back and read some Ocean Master and Black Manta stuff recently, and for both of these characters, you have their original origin story, then in, the 80s maybe, there was Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then their origins changed, and then they've changed again in the New 52.
Yeah.
So both of these characters have 3 alternating and conflicting origins.
So they could pick and choose from any.
I mean, with the films, it seems like they're mostly following the New 52 stuff, but I don't know if that's always a good idea.
No.
Because it's not people don't know these stories the same way that they know the stuff from the 60s or whatever.
Yeah. The one that's kind of ingrained into the popular idea of the characters.
The Black Manta one from post Crisis on Infinite Earths is bizarre though. He's a child in Arkham Asylum who's a heavily functioning autistic child with really violent tendencies, and the only way that they can calm him down is to dunk him in freezing cold water, and he loves the water, and then he's like, I'm gonna just go rule the seas because I like the cold water.
What?
Yeah. He could be our crap comic book character of the week.
This is New 52?
No, post-crisis. Okay. So in the 90s, obviously.
Yeah.
When everything edgy happened. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see that film.
Yeah, we will.
Could be interesting.
Yeah. As always, love that Black Manta suit.
We exchanged a wink there. I do like the suit though. It does look great. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Cool. All right. So Ellie, we've had 2 and almost a third trailer this week.
Yeah, we had Captain Marvel, the big trailer. We had Avengers official trailer.
Official teaser trailer.
Yeah, and then they were like, and then we're going to release Spider-Man Far From Home, and then they just didn't.
Well, they played it for the people at Comic-Con in Brazil, but they haven't released it. And my understanding there is that Avengers 4, now officially titled, and don't continue listening unless you've seen the trailer and know this, but also, if you haven't, then that's on you, and it's been a couple of days, so like, just, suck it up.
They're now in the title of the video.
They changed it, did they? Okay. Because originally they only released it at it just says Avengers trailer or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's Avengers 4 Endgame. Or just Avengers Endgame, I guess. So that was meant to be released on Wednesday, but then there was a day of mourning as a result of the George Bush funeral, which was held, and then I think all like TV stuff was delayed.
Yeah.
So it only then came out on Friday afternoon.
And that was just too close to the Spider-Man original date for them to release it.
I think Sony was worried about releasing it on Saturday and it just getting swept under the rug by Avengers.
So do we think it'll maybe come out next week, or?
Okay, so I actually have a source at Comic-Con in Brazil, who I'll talk more about later, but what he or she or it told me.
It's a dog.
No, it's a spider.
Oh.
He was invited.
Spider of honor. He was the one who bit Spider-Man.
So this person told me that there was apparently a lot of drama behind the scenes relating to the decisions about whether or not the trailer was going to be released or not.
Yeah.
And that they're now saying December 18th is going to be, that's in 9 days' time, or 8 days following the release date of this video. So that's the date that is the ballpark that I've been told by our anonymous friend.
Yes.
So we'll just have to see. I don't know.
Perfect, yeah.
But there is a trailer description out there, which I don't know if you've read, but I'll talk about once we've gone through the other two trailers.
Yeah, cool.
So kick us off, Elliot. Let's talk about Captain Marvel.
She's like, yeah, you were right, because before you said that when she's in space, she's known as Verse, which we see is the bit of her dog tag that's broken off from Carol, Captain Carol Danvers, so only the Verse bit is left with her.
She's forgotten everything but the Verse, which she has evidence of.
Yeah. We see her fight that old woman on the train a little bit more.
She has some flips.
Yeah, so we're like, we know for sure that she's not just beating up old women just in case.
Or she's just a really athletic.
Oh, maybe.
Well, yoga probably kicked up a lot in LA in the 90s, so maybe she's just really flexible.
Maybe.
I'm not going to rule it out.
We see her helmet. So she doesn't have the pointy on top hair.
Thank God.
But she does her Monica from Friends hair. When the helmet comes on, kind of gets pushed up the top.
No, it's Rachel from Friends.
Oh, my bad. Rachel from Friends.
Not Monica. She's got black hair.
No, sorry, yeah, no, I was...
or that episode where Monica gets braids while she's in the Caribbean or something, and everyone's like...
I'm mixing it up because I was talking to my friends about Monica from Friends. So Rachel...
Alright, what kind of conversations are you having?
Rachel from Friends, and that kind of gets pushed up into the slot to make kind of the mohawk.
The helmet looks great.
The helmet does look cool. Her helmet has always been one of my favorite parts of a superhero costume. I love that helmet.
And also, oftentimes what they do is when you have masked or helmeted villains, they really strip it back because they want to show off the face of the celebrity that's playing them.
For sure.
But so I'm glad that at least for part of it, she's going to have the helmet.
Yeah, like when she's in space.
Yeah, but I'm just glad that they kind of are referencing the haircut without actually giving her... Yeah. I don't know what it is. That haircut looks so weird. I don't like it.
We see Nick Fury just having a great old time with her cat.
Yeah. Do you know the comic book details about the cat?
No.
Oh, okay. So, in the film, the cat is called Goose, which is a reference to Top Gun.
Yeah.
Goose is the best friend of Maverick, who's played by Tom Cruise, and dies. So maybe that's a reference. I don't know. Maybe the cat's gonna die. But the other thing is, it's then revealed that the cat, which is called Chewie in the comics, in a Star Wars reference, but I think Disney's like, we've got enough of these. He's actually not a cat.
He's a Skrull?
No. No, he's what's the name of it? I can't think of it now. I had it in my head a second ago. He's an alien.
Okay.
Who looks like a cat, and he can open his mouth and basically just turn into like. Have you seen The Thing with Kurt Russell?
Yeah.
Just like a giant fleshy monster type deal.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
I thought you were going to say he's a cat like the cats from the Monster Hunter games who are just like little guys, but this one was just pretending to be a regular cat. But no, a big fleshy monster is quite terrifying.
It's not really used for anything in the comics as far as I can tell, but...
it's just like a cute little thing, like, oh, she's got a cat, but it's actually an alien.
It's the last of its race as well, for whatever reason. But I am really fond of the fan theory that I've seen floating around that Nick Fury getting too friendly with the cat is how he loses his eye, which brings like a whole new level of depth to that line. Like, last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye. It's just the cat.
He's got
It's a Flurkin. That's the name of
Flurkin.
A Flurkin. Yeah.
He's got a little scar over his eye. It, or a little bandaged cut, and I like the idea that throughout the film, because we know he's going to lose his eye, just we have scene after scene of like someone slices him with a blade, but it's only his eye, or he gets just like a tiny paper cut above his eye, and then it just keeps getting infected and spreading. It spreads. No, but like someone will be holding a knife and pushing it towards his eye, and he pushes it away at the last second, or a bullet whizzes past his eye, and he's fine.
And then right at the end?
The cat just claws it out.
And that's why it's the last of its race, because he's just declared war. It's like Earth's first intergalactic war. His
first action as director of S.H.I.E.L.D. is to wipe out the Flurkins.
So there's some... I had so many things to talk about the Captain Marvel trailer, and I remember very few of them now, because Avengers 4 has just kind of washed that away. It's like a palate cleanser or something. I wanted to say something I'm a bit confused about in this is the fact that we see Carol getting infused with Kree blood through like a tube into her arm or something.
Yeah.
But then it says like your life started the day it nearly ended, and it shows her in like a plane wreck, which is presumably when she first is a fighter pilot for the US Air Force and stumbles across some battle between the Kree and the Skrull. But in that fight, you see her on the ground, and she's got like greeny blue Kree blood coming out of her nose.
Yeah, she does.
So, was she infused prior to that fight? Does she have that naturally, and they just make her think that she's got Kree blood artificially? Like, what's?
I think that that's a little ploy, a little ruse pulled by Marvel
trailer.
From the trailer, where in the actual film it'll just be red blood.
Right. So it's just to set us off.
Yeah, but maybe also just because we wanted us to know that her blood is blue, and the one scene might not have been enough.
Okay, right. Yeah, possibly. I think that in this, obviously, Carol is very much of the belief that the Kree are the good guys and the Skrull are the bad guys.
Yeah.
But I think it's actually going to be, towards the end of it, it'll be much more of a case of they're both bad. But she'll actually dislike the Kree more for kind of pulling the wool over her eyes, the trying to trick her and giving her false memories and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And I also really like the idea. We discussed this a little bit during the week, but I actually kind of shut the conversation off because I was like, this would be better to discuss on the podcast. Yeah. But Ben Mendelsohn, who's playing the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and a Skrull, he's called Talos, I believe.
Okay.
I love the idea that Ben Mendelsohn plays a bad guy in everything, and we're so set up for him being the bad guy, and then he's just like, the Skrull are just trying to infiltrate for the sake of like bettering humanity or something. That'd be so funny.
It really, really would be. So we're expecting a twist, but then they twist the twist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like a knife in the back. Also, how nice that Ben Mendelsohn gets to use his real voice. But I think he says one line in the trailer that's like, "Do you know what you really are?" Every time I hear that, it makes me kind of laugh. It's the like, "Do you know?" It's like really guttural and weird.
Yeah,
I love it.
I stand that we need more films where aliens come down and they just have like really distinct, like Scottish or Australian or just really distinct accents.
Well, we have Korg, who's a New Zealand accent.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe Maybe the Skrull and the whatever he is, I forget what they're called.
I think the technical term is Rock Boys.
I thought you were actually going to give us some information there.
I had it on the tip of my tongue. Yeah.
Okay, Rock Boys. But maybe their planets are like next door to each other.
Yeah, and I also know that in comics, like in the 60s, aliens would come down and they'd have like 60s hairdos.
Oh yeah,
and stuff.
Beatles haircut.
Yeah. I like the idea that they come down in the modern day and they look like they're from the 30s or whatever.
That'd be really funny, even if they spoke like old timey or something. Yeah, that'd be good. They're called the Cronin. That's the race. Yeah. I didn't look that up. I just drew from my vast comic book knowledge.
If you heard clicking or typing, that was just him tapping on the side of his brain to really get it kickstarted.
My plastic skull.
Yep.
Cool. I'll be honest, the trailer didn't super wow me.
No.
I think it looks pretty by the numbers, and I hope that it's better than the trailer.
So the implications of this film, you think, are going to be that other characters might be Skrull, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who they... Like, we've talked about this before, like, maybe... I feel like the best way that they could set it up would be for Nick Fury to be a Skrull also.
Nick Fury makes sense.
Like, all these years.
Yeah, I like the idea that War Machine is a Skrull.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
He's got no backstory, does he really?
He's got no backstory. He's been there since the first film.
Yeah.
He's been there throughout the whole...
And his appearance
changed. Yeah. So people are like, didn't Rhodey used to look different?
No.
No, what?
I love when he comes in Iron Man 2 and obviously the actors change and he's like, this is me now, deal with it. Like, he literally says that.
Yeah. And he's like referring to his uniform or whatever, but we know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. But also, obviously Tony's a big character in most of the films.
I don't think they do that. I think he's had too many human moments for him to be a Skrull now.
He did fall out of the sky, and he was. I mean, like, he had damage to his back, but he was largely fine. But
Skrull wouldn't necessarily be able to do that either, because generally what happens with the Skrull is there's Skrull and then there's Super Skrull, which are just the equivalent of like superheroes, but for the Skrull. And usually if they're Super Skrull, they have enhanced strength or invisibility or whatever. It's usually at the expense of their shape-shifting abilities. So if you have like a super, super strong Skrull, he's probably not going to be able to shapeshift into other
I guess
forms.
Skrull have kind of changed across the years.
Oh, yeah,
so
for sure,
it depends on how Marvel... the MCU chooses which kind of version of them they choose,
If Nick Fury's a Skrull, do you think it could be that the Kree won the Kree-Skrull war and that there's very few Skrull left, so he's actually preparing the Avengers for the eventual return of the Kree to Earth?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Maybe he's getting them ready because the Kree will come back at some point. Yeah, maybe. And
because we know firsthand from this film and then Guardians eventually that you've got like Ronan the Accuser, who's like a crazy Kree.
Yeah, and he doesn't just hate the Skrull, he hates pretty much everyone who's not Kree, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that Captain Marvel will go kind of fascist in this film, like she often does in the comics?
I don't know if they do that in the first film.
No.
First outing. I think she might eventually.
Yeah.
But I don't think in her first outing they'll be immediately like...
No.
Yeah,
I think the way that kind of, depending on kind of where you sit, like Cap or Tony could be kind of the bad guy, like the antagonistic force in Civil War. I'd like to see her kind of thrown into that mix as well.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
Where she stands in the first Civil War, but also in Civil War 2, the comic book is really interesting, and she does kind of end up kind of believing that if you can imprison someone if there's a chance that they're gonna do something, and that kind
if there's even a 1% chance.
She's Ben Affleck. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Some words.
Probably.
Yeah.
Man. It's difficult, isn't it?
It is.
Maybe we left this too late in the day because I can already feel my brain's not like where it should be for recording this.
Yeah. No, but I'm still reasonably looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, I'll see it, and I think if you watch all of the trailers of the Marvel films, I think that Winter Soldier is probably the most boring of the trailers, and that's in my top 2 or 3 films.
It's an amazing film. Yeah. They can be misleading sometimes.
They can, yeah, for sure.
And sometimes they're purposely misleading as well.
Exactly. I think this one will be interesting mostly because of its characters and kind of the time setting and stuff as well. Yeah. I was disappointed that this trailer, like, there was nothing in the trailer to be like, this is the 90s. Like, the first one, it was like Blockbuster, and you're like, okay, I understand. But I wanted like a 90s song in the trailer instead of just kind of like the standard superhero orchestral stuff. And anyway. Great. So, Avengers 4.
Avengers 4.
Yeah. I was refreshing Twitter like every 5 minutes all week waiting for this. I linked it to you like 2 minutes after it was posted.
And I was in the middle of my Irish class and I was like, oh god, I can't leave now.
Did you go to the bathroom to watch it?
No, because it was it was
call yourself a fan.
Yeah, it was an important class and I wasn't able to, but I sure did. The chance, like first chance I got, and then I got onto the bus, and you know I'm in the oldest year, so I went final year. So I went over to the younger kids and I was like, hey, I'm gonna show this trailer to my friends, so can you all just shut up for 5 minutes, please?
Did they do it?
Yeah, they did.
Good on them.
Yeah,
that's nice to see. Kids these days, you know, they need that respect.
Yeah, for sure.
When I was a kid, that kid would have turned around and said, hey, fuzzball, I'm gonna beat you with this bat, and then his 15 siblings would come out the steps of his New York home and beat me up with it. Yeah.
All with the same bat. They take turns. Line up.
So where's that respect gone? That's what I'm saying.
But hey.
Wow, it's a heavy trailer, and it tells us nothing.
No.
Other than people are sad.
People are sad. Tony is in space.
Yeah. Well, let's start there, because that's my first note. Tony is stuck in space on the Guardians ship, which is not the Milano, as I'm seeing reported everywhere. They lost the Milano and they did a new ship in Avengers Infinity War, did the Guardians.
Yeah.
So maybe they named this one the Milano also, but I doubt it. I don't think so.
No.
It's not the same one.
It's probably named after another 80s pop culture character.
Yeah, probably. Someone that Chris Pratt had a crush on when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so Tony's stuck up there.
Yeah, he's...
First of all, why did he take the ship off the planet?
Beats me.
Because he and Nebula are stuck on the planet.
He and Nebula are stuck on the planet, and they're like, let's get out of this podunk town, but then they didn't have...
It seems like Nebula's on the ship as well.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Maybe, do you think they talk? Like, I can't imagine Nebula wanting to discuss anything with him.
No, I can imagine that... I can imagine them, like, at first not talking, but, like, maybe bonding a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, over the course of however
Tony would be like, gee, my dad sure was vacant, and then Nebula's like, my dad took off my body parts and replaced them with robotics.
And then he killed half of the living creatures in the universe.
Tony's like, damn, you think that's bad? My dad didn't show up to my piano recital.
Yeah, he's like, yep, food and water ran out 4
days ago.
Which really makes me think, can't you only survive 3 days without water?
Not if you're Tony Stark.
Oh,
maybe things are different in space.
He drank nanotech. And he said oxygen was going to run out tomorrow morning.
Yeah. So, but the ship still seems to be, like, functioning to some degree. There's, like, screens doing stuff in the background.
Yeah. But maybe the oxygen machine is broke. Come back tomorrow.
Understandable. Have a nice day. Yeah, I don't know where this is going, because obviously he's not going to die in space.
What if he does, though?
Yeah, but that's one of my points, right? I know for a fact from another hot source I have.
Whoa, it's Hot Scoop Central.
Yeah, it sure is. I've got another scoop. I know for a fact that there is a yet unreleased Audi car.
Okay.
That they had a prototype made specifically so that Tony Stark could drive it in Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
So, at the very least,
we're going to see him
driving
in
a car. Yeah.
Maybe, okay. So, Quill, in his fit of rage, just like binge bought a bunch of cars. They're all in the back of Milano too.
Amazon.
Yeah. And Tony's like, well, if I'm going out in style. So he drives into space.
And crashes into the sun.
No, but what if, because, are we going to talk about possibly alternate timelines, that kind of thing might still be a part of this film?
Yeah, could very well be.
In that case, Because we do have that shot from where he's got the blonde hair and he's in a shield
outfit.
In a shield outfit. Yes. What if he just dies in space and like, whoa, Pepper's not going to be happy with this. Let's get another one.
Well, speaking of Pepper, first of all, I just want to say how great that shot of him talking to the helmet is, where he says, when I doze off, I'll be thinking of you. It's always you. And the fact that he says it to the helmet is like a double entendre, because it's always been a case of like, can he leave behind the suit for a second to pay attention to her? And so it's kind of unclear who he's talking to. Just brilliant writing that, I think. Lovely. But he says about her rescuing him, and as we know, Rescue is the name of Pepper Potts' character when she's got the armor.
She has her own
set of armor with no like propulsion blasters or whatever. It's just like no literally weapons, for saving people. So the fact that he says rescue either means to me that she's going to save him, or they want us to think that, and we know for a fact, though, from a leaked image, that she does wear the suit in this film. So,
but that might again be a part of like an alternate timeline,
it could be. It's really hard to say. I think in terms of kind of continuity, and especially if Stark is going to die, like this is his last Marvel film, I think it would be brilliant to put him back in the same situation as the first one, where he's stuck in a cave with a box of scraps and he's able to make the suit out of nothing. I think that, he's down to the last day, and then in a last desperate attempt, he tries putting something together and he manages to like hop reality or whatever. That would be incredible.
It would be, for sure.
Nebula's probably going to have some idea of advanced robotics as well, considering she's made of.
She's like, why don't you try using my leg?
Imagine he's like, damn, if only I had this one part, and she's like, my brain's made out of them, and he's like,
He's like, yeah, my dad replaced my appendix with one of those.
Do you think she'd give up her brain if he needed the part for like saving the universe?
If instead of like saving the universe, he was like, I can beat Thanos.
Yeah.
Then I think maybe she would.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think that she'll play a big part in taking him out, Thanos.
Maybe, yeah. I suppose poetically it would make sense.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that you've got him back in like his same old tank top with like the little light up underneath it, just such a nice callback. So
what if they are like, all right, we need a big brain to solve this Thanos problem, so we're gonna need all the Tonys we can get. They have this big warehouse full of Tonys. We're all like quipping at each
realities.
Other, and they go in after the first day, and they're like, right, well, we've already made 3 killer robots. Tony 47 is dead of alcohol poisoning, but we found a way to kill Thanos.
God, a room full of Tony Starks would be terrifying.
And it's like a parallel to Ultron, who had all of his Ultrons.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be. That's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
I hope.
But
So, what out of those two, which do you think is, who do you think is going to save him, if anyone? Is it going to be him? Is it going to be Pepper? Could it be Captain Marvel? Could it be Kraglin?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is he's going to, even if he doesn't make the reality warp, because I think they might use something to do with quantum energy, because I was going to just say Paul Rudd, Ant-Man shows up with the van in which he went into the microverse with.
I have a point about that as well, though.
Yeah, so I think he'll be like, okay, I can get us I fixed it so we can get one jump, and they jump and they're not close enough to Earth, and he's like, oh no,
right.
And then they're like, Rocket's like, hey, my ship's at the front door, let's go get it. And kind of so kind of a bit like in Guardians, the first one, when he gives away his helmet and he's drifting off into space, and then again Rocket shows up like, you idiots are always just dying in space.
So you think Rocket could save them?
Yeah, because
speaking of Rocket, it seems like all of the remaining Avengers go back to Avengers HQ in upstate New York. Do you think Rocket goes with them? Because he's not in the trailer, right?
Yeah, he's not.
But like all of them are there, so does he just kind of wander off? What does he do?
I don't know. Maybe he stays in Wakanda.
That'd be still weird. Like,
yeah,
what's he gonna do there? I don't know.
I think he's gonna go into a flit of just like making weapons. He's like
just gonna become like some sort of domestic terrorist.
No, I mean like he's like, okay, they're coming up with a plan, but he doesn't really know how to do much other than...
Imagine if there was a whole part of the film where just, like, he gets caught by some kind of circus keeper and he's, like, the incredible talking raccoon.
And but, like, what if he just has to... He's, like... Because, you know, we saw those white suits. Maybe he makes those.
Yeah,
maybe
true.
He makes... He's involved in the making of the... Because he's quite good with tech, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Because he's even got that kind of thing that just he sprays on the ship to fix the broken parts, doesn't he?
That was like nanotech, wasn't it?
Presumably, yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one with Rocket. What I love about this trailer is the fact that, like, it just gives us next to nothing.
Yeah, we don't know how far it was since the snap.
Cap's shaved his beard and Black Widow's grown her eyebrows back.
They actually shared that he gave her the... he donated his beard so she could get eyebrows back.
Well, because of the fact that he's crying, I feel like... And not necessarily, but I feel like it must be, like, pretty recent.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like Cap as a person would, like, shut down and just go numb to it after, you know?
Yeah, so do you think...
But, like, then I imagine, like... Did he shave his beard while he was crying? Like... Is that just his natural response to crying? Is just shave the beard?
Who knows?
Also, he pulls out that little compass with the picture of Peggy on it, and I was only thinking about this just before we started recording. The last time he pulled that out was before he flew the ship into the ice and sacrificed himself. So do you think that means he's going to throw himself on the blade to, you know, is it foreshadowing maybe?
Speaking of blade, if the toys are any indicator, Thanos is going to get a big sword, and I'm looking forward to that.
That sounds really odd to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why he'd have a sword, but I guess.
I guess he was like, hey, last time I just used my body.
Yeah.
It messed up my arm. Maybe I need a reach weapon.
It seems like he's limping in the shot of him walking through, so it does seem like he's got some permanent damage.
Yeah, but once he did the snap and he kind of fell back into the portal, we saw that, like, that side of his body was messed up as well.
But he completely healed the wound in his chest with the glove while he was falling backwards into that portal.
I don't think he completely healed it, because when he's sitting, he's still, like... It's still, like, not just all okay, but it meant he was no longer dying of an axe wound to the chest, but he did patch it up a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of toys, actually, I forgot to mention there's already a picture of a toy of young Nick Fury and the cat's got handcuffs on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that pretty much confirms that it's an alien cat.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
What's the deal with toys, man? They just, like, they spoil everything.
Yeah.
Like, I know they have to put them into production before the film comes out, but also, like, if I didn't want to know these things, like, you would feel kind of a little bit bummed out sometimes, wouldn't you, you know?
Yeah, because I know I was talking to my friend about, what's going to happen in Infinity War, and he went into just, like, a toy shop, and there was a Lego set where it was them in Wakanda and they had the Mind Stone, and he was like, yeah, I think the Soul Stone is just in Wakanda because one of the, you know, it was like Tony, Rocket, Black Panther,
the Soul Stone.
Soul Stone.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's like, it blows my brain to, like, think of all the different possibilities for what's going to happen in this film.
Yeah,
it really
like, I've got no clue. So what were you saying about the van?
Yeah, the van. Okay, so first of all, something that I've noticed that I've not seen anyone online point out, and that doesn't mean that I'm the first person to notice it, but in the top left corner of the footage of Ant-Man, it says archive, which leads me to believe that it's not new footage, and then Cap actually asks, is this old footage? So, they've obviously got the list of all the people who are missing or presumed dead, which includes Spider-Man, Shuri, Tony Stark, you know, Black Panther, like all the people who were dusted. So, yeah, it seems like Shuri's probably dusted.
So, originally it was said that she wasn't dusted.
Yeah, but they also said the title wouldn't be Endgame, so I don't know who to trust.
So, either she was dusted or she wasn't dusted and she was just, she's just gone missing.
So, my thought here is that Ant-Man was presumed dusted because he was in the microverse quantum realm when it happened.
Yeah.
So he's probably on that list of faces of presumed dead.
Yeah.
So maybe Cap's reaction to seeing him is this old footage, meaning I can't believe that it's now. But the fact that they've put archive there means it probably is old footage, or they've put that in the trailer to intentionally mislead us. Maybe how Scott got out of the quantum realm was going through a time whatever, and coming out in the past. She says, like,
hey, watch out for them time vortexes.
Yeah, exactly. So...
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, she just mentioned time vortexes are in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe he's come out in the past, but because that's, like, something new that's happened, it's only popping up on the system now.
Okay.
Because also, like, the fact that it's, like, literally just a gate with an intercom makes me feel like that's maybe pre-Avengers having the place, or at least it being, like, as high-tech as it is now.
Yeah.
Now, the other option here is that I've seen people discuss this online, is that maybe Cap's not even actually reacting to the footage of Scott in the trailer, and it's just a trick. In the same way as the... Tell me his name again. Thanos. You know, like that one from the first Infinity War trailer. They were two completely different scenes just cut together. So that's a possibility as well. Yeah. But the only way I can see Scott getting out of the quantum realm is through a time vortex or something, right?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
If we're going for alternate timelines, what do you want to see from alternate timelines?
I'd like to see some references to, like, kind of the more crazy stuff that's happened in comics, but without actually going into the depths of it, like Peter when he grew 6 arms and stuff.
Yeah, or, like, what about, like, if we, Marvel Zombies?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want it to go to, like, Spider-Verse length or anything, but I think just some kind of, like, like Hydra Cap and stuff like that might be interesting.
Because what I was saying was that obviously there's so many stories, and not only and that's a good example to kind of touch on them, so we don't need to do that now because we've shown it, so anyone who wants that has seen it. But I was also saying there's so many kind of superhero titles that have been passed down to other people, so maybe there would be a chance to have
Sam Wilson as Captain America or something.
Yeah, or something, so that you don't have to make a film about it.
Yeah,
but
we get Riri Williams out the way so that she doesn't need her own film.
Yeah, so that we can show it, so the fans of those things get that.
Yeah,
and they don't have to make up their own infinite timelines, because we have other timelines
so many
already.
Yeah, we literally I don't think they should delve too deep into it, because I think that doing that in any kind of medium can detract from your personal enjoyment in a way. It's like, so this is my Tony Stark, who's, all of the stuff that's happened in the films, that's our Tony. But then if you would say there's a version of him that's exactly the same, but he's got blue eyes instead of whatever, like, it makes you feel like he wouldn't miss out too much on R1 if he died or anything. So I don't want them to go, like, too far into that. I want them to allude to stuff, but also, like, let's keep what's ours. It's sacred.
Yeah.
Sure. Hawkeye shows up.
Hawkeye does as Ronan. The accuser. They're the same guy.
No, that's not the same. This is Ronan with an eye.
Ronan with an eye. But where in the comics his family died or were killed, and so he was like, time for me to use a sword.
Yeah, well, Ronin, he wasn't the first Ronin, actually.
No.
There were Ronins before him. And Ronin is a Japanese word for a samurai who's lost their lord.
Yeah, or who's been dishonored, and so is basically a samurai who's no longer a samurai, which is normally because they lost their lord and hadn't not yet found another one.
So they're kind of like a free agent, effectively.
Yeah. A lot of them went into, like, banditry.
Do you think that Hawkeye lost his family?
I think his family were all snapped,
All of them. Because he had 2 children and a wife in Civil War, and a kid on the way. No, was it Age of Ultron or Civil War?
Age of Ultron, yeah. Age of Ultron, he had... that because that's when we... Yeah, it was definitely Age of Ultron.
Okay, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. You think they all got snapped?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe it'd be, like, better if, like... I don't know how dark they want to go with it, but if, like, they lost 2 of the kids and his wife, like, killed herself in, like, like the horror of it or something, that would kind of, like, be more of, like, a snowball effect, like, God, everything sucks and it's really piling up, instead of them just being like, they just all coincidentally got snapped.
Yeah, it depends on where you want to go with it.
Yeah.
Another thing I was going to talk about is it's not just Earth, it's life across
creatures,
across the universe.
But we didn't see any trees or anything going. Do they count?
No, I think it's just living creatures.
So what about, like, bacteria?
No, I think because it seems to be kind of... It's not like you've got to write down all of the rules. It's just kind of what you in your mind envision would happen. So whatever...
I'm sure, though, that there's got to be kind of life forms that exist. Like, if you look at kind of the animal kingdom, you know, we break stuff down into, like, mammals and reptiles and stuff. But, like, if you did that on a universal scale, surely there's going to be lots of things that he would have left out because he didn't know of their existence, right?
Maybe it's just, when they say life, it's just sentient life.
Okay.
Because if it's about resources, then if you now have twice the animal products to feed people, you know, if you're halving that, then you're still halving. Because if it is just plants and animals, then you've not, you know, when you're looking at expendable resources, you've got rid of half of those as well, so he's not solved anything. But I think he's saying what the kind of thing that's taxing the universe is sentient life.
Right, so it'd just be that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's what my take is on it.
Yeah, I don't think they'll probably go into like a huge amount of detail. They'll just be like, it is this way.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think he ends up in Japan, Hawkeye?
I don't know.
I guess he was an assassin prior to being an Avenger. He used to be an assassin for S.H.I.E.L.D., didn't he?
Yeah, so maybe he's just back.
Maybe he's just kind of like, I've lost everything, so I'll just go back to just being like judge, jury, and executioner for...
Yeah. I don't know, I've got no clue what he's doing there.
No, me
but
either.
What I was thinking was, because it's the whole universe, what if we had like another like hero team or whatever at the start show up and try to take on Thanos?
Oh, that'd be kind of cool, yeah.
And Thanos beats them so that we know that he's still capable.
Yeah.
And that way you could fit in some kind of cosmic Marvel characters who we've not seen before.
You could even do it with that kind of like second string Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Though I'd really like to see more of that lineup.
I'd love to see more of that. So I'd rather if they don't die.
Yeah.
But
I can see them doing that.
But I think it'd be a good chance to use other cosmic characters, because Marvel has so many. If someone from a different solar system was like, "Yo, this guy wiped out half the planet. We've got to beat him."
I pointed out to you earlier today that if Thor hadn't taken the food from the Guardians' ship in the start of Infinity War, Tony would have survived for a much longer time.
Yeah, but
That's sad to think, isn't it?
It wasn't his ship either, so
yeah, true.
It was neither of their food.
Yeah. Does Nebula need to eat to survive? Do you think?
I think a bit. I think it's partially food and partially plugging into a wall.
She does eat an unripe fruit in Guardians too, so I guess.
So the system still works unless she has to like open up a zip on her belly and empty it into the toilet or something.
Well, some people have to do that.
Yeah. What if it's like a little trash compactor? Little cubes.
Pellets. Yeah, okay, so that's what we think about Avengers 4.
Yeah, for sure.
You think Shuri's dead, real quick?
I don't think Shuri's dead.
No.
No, I think she's off. She couldn't handle... Obviously, because then the role of leader...
Black Panther is...
Not only Black Panther, but like ruler of Wakanda was then kind of thrust upon her shoulders. So I think she left because...
I think in an emergency state, they'd be more likely to reinstate T'Challa's mother.
Yeah, who we know wasn't snapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've been told.
Yeah. I think it was kind of that pressure was put on her and she probably ran away.
Okay. So she's just hanging out in the jungle somewhere.
Maybe she's with Rocket.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That'd be a weird team up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two are just building to try and do anything, you know?
So, from what I've heard of Spider-Man Far From Home, all we really know so far is that from the footage that was shown, there's no reference to the Snap or Infinity War.
Okay.
And it seems like Mysterio, instead of being a villain, is actually like a teammate of Spider-Man in the trailer, and it seems like they're going up against Hydro Man and Electro Man.
Okay.
So what I've seen is that they've been referred to as the Elemental Men, but then I think due to the fact that it's a Portuguese-speaking country and there's some mistranslations, I think that people are saying that they're going up against the Elementals, which are like huge cosmic entities.
Yeah, probably
not that.
Spider-Man has Electro, the Hydro Man, the Molten Man.
Yeah, wait, what two did I say?
Electro Man?
Oh, no, I didn't mean Electro Man. I meant Molten Man and not Aquaman. Molten Man and Hydro Man.
Molten Man, Hydro Man. He's got Electro. He's got a lot of his characters are based.
But they're the two I know that are like pretty much confirmed
now.
Yeah. So that's weird. I don't see Mysterio as a ally to anybody. Like, even when he's with the Sinister Six, he always kind of stabs them.
The Sinister Sticks. It's a big bundle of sticks.
It's Groot's family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they don't really like work. He always stabs them in the back. So I don't know. Maybe that it'll just be kind of like a
temporary,
like a what's his name from Doctor Strange, Mordo situation where they sour and then he turns into the bad guy or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope so, because I don't want to see him
as a hero.
I don't want them to give him the M'Baku treatment, which is just kind of like everyone likes him and
so
he doesn't. They don't agree with each other, but they're teammates. I don't want that. And from what else I've heard is that Aunt May does know about Peter being Spider-Man, which a lot of people are like, oh, he's gonna say it's a Halloween costume or something, but like, apparently yes. And also it seems like there's some kind of...
So sorry, I was recently reading some Daredevil, and during the period, Karen saw him take off his Daredevil suit and then he ran away. So she was like, Matt, I know you're Daredevil. And he was like, nah, that's my identical twin brother Mike. And she just believed that he had an identical twin brother called Mike, who no one knew about, who was Daredevil.
Honestly, sometimes these people who write these just didn't think at all, did they? They're just like, whatever. I love those issues where you can just see that they're phoning it in, though. It's pretty funny. I don't remember what I was saying anyway. Apparently there's some kind of romantic relationship seeming to be budding between Aunt May and Happy Hogan.
Oh yeah?
So that's all I know from what I've seen of the trailer. Also, the same person at Brazil Comic-Con who gave me the scoop on the drama behind the scenes. Apparently the actors were told that the trailer was going to be released and footage was going to be released. And then I think they've shown the trailer, but the footage hasn't been shown and the trailer's not released. So apparently some of the actors, including Tom Holland and Jake Gyllenhaal, were upset with Sony for the way that they'd handled it.
Yeah.
But he also said that there's a scene in this film, and this is, I'm highly skeptical of this, but there's a scene where Spidey lands on a roof of a building and Daredevil's also on the roof, and he's immediately picks up Daredevil with his Spidey sense, and Daredevil hears him, and they just kind of like look at each other across the rooftop and kind of share like a nod, and that's all. But that they're like, Daredevil does exist now in it, and that was in footage that was supposed to be shown but wasn't actually. So I think that's a bit of a stretch, but if it turns out to be true, then we know that this guy's legit, I suppose.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. Tom Holland has recently been going for a lot of walks with his dog. That's what his Instagram has just been, him and his dogs.
I don't follow him on Instagram, but you should follow us at Deep Dive Cinema. Always plug, boys.
Every time he seems to have a new dog, I think he's just using his fame to gradually get more and more dogs, which...
That's probably what I do. Yeah, fair. God bless him. Anyway, so that's our trailer talk. That was a really long time.
But that's kind of what's hot and trending at the moment.
Sure is. Maybe next week we'll have something to talk about.
Yeah. Well, we want to go on to my crap comic book character of the week?
Sure, and then we're probably going to have to wrap up because we're 52 minutes in already.
Oh, wow, okay. So my crap comic book character of the week, this week, is Daredevil.
Himself?
Not the Daredevil that you'd know.
Okay.
This is...
Not you, the casual man.
No. This is the 1940s comic Daredevil.
Okay.
Which I stumbled across when I was trying to find the issue where Spider-Man featured in Daredevil to fight Stiltman, who we talked about in, I think, like our first episode.
Yeah. Terrible.
But yeah, so it drew my eye because the first issue was Daredevil battles Hitler, and I was like, wow, I don't remember this. So I looked into it, and I've got some info on it.
Okay. Take us away.
So, Daredevil battles Hitler was a 1940 comic. About 1940s comic, yeah.
Okay, so this is like early days as well, I suppose.
Yeah, golden age. And
early days of like the Third Reich also.
Yeah, America had not yet
entered
the war. This, along with Cap socking Hitler and that.
Didn't they only join in like 43 or something?
Yeah, so this was kind of anticipating it.
In Fortnite when you're in a fight with someone and then someone just comes and shoots you for like the 20 health you have left. That's basically
what America.
they third parties the World War.
But this is like basically just a guy with a boomerang.
Okay. Is he a stuntman type?
No, he was like a boxer.
Okay.
So he's pretty strong, he's pretty fit, he's pretty agile. His costume is, one half of it is black, the other half of it is red, just split down the middle,
okay.
no kind of designs or anything, so it's really basic. Okay, so his name is Bart Hill. So introducing the first episode, we find out that he's mute, which is due to the trauma from when he saw his father being killed and he was branded with a hot iron.
Right.
Now, the hot iron burn mark that left in his body was, of course, in the shape of a boomerang.
So he decided to take that as his weapon of choice.
So he decided to take up the weapon of his choice. However, in the next issue, he's not mute. So I don't know what went on there.
He got rid of his trauma with a boomerang.
He's just.
Maybe that's the thing. You throw it away, but it keeps coming back.
There's no explanation. Just all of us. Because the first one they were like, "Oh, he's mute because he had to suffer through this." And the next episode he was like, "Hey, what's up? It's me, Daredevil."
And then in the '60s, someone was like, "Let's revive this character, but make him blind instead of mute."
So he lasted for a full 16 issues before he was retconned.
Pretty good.
Which is about as long as the New 52.
Damn.
At which point they decided he was still traumatized from watching his father killed. He was still branded, but he didn't decide to use a boomerang because of his boomerang-shaped scar. He decided to use a boomerang because he was raised by Aboriginal Australians who for some reason were just hanging out in America.
This makes sense.
Yeah. He had a rich cast of sidekicks. So every superhero needs a sidekick.
Yeah, a teenage version of them.
Yeah, he decided to have 5 of them.
Oh, God.
So he had a little crew called the Little Wise Guys.
That's the group we need to show up in Avengers 4 to take on Thanos.
Who include, and I kid you not, Curly, Jocko, Pee-wee, Scarecrow, who's the third Scarecrow character we've mentioned in this comic book podcast so far, and Meatball.
Are these like 5 of the 7 dwarves?
Meatball died 2 issues later.
Do any of them have any abilities?
They're just kids who follow him around and beat up people after him.
And how did Meatball die?
He was just shot.
That was terrible.
You can't win them all.
I guess that's why he's 5. They're backup. He's got reserves.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was just an awful... He was an awful... But people loved this comic because it was kind of... It was really the start of comics. So the fact that we had a superhero with a unique weapon and a group of sidekicks and a cool outfit, this was, it was all the rage.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
So at the time, everyone loved it, and then as soon as that Age of Comics ended, everyone forgot him.
Yeah, I've never heard of this guy.
No. So for my film, I decided that it wouldn't be a film of Daredevil, it would be a film of the making of the film Daredevil in the 1940s.
Oh, they made a film of it?
No, they didn't. But
as if they did.
As if they did,
right,
yeah.
Right.
So the main character is George Bannon, who's like an actor, not like a big actor,
right.
but he's had some roles. And his whole thing... Oh yeah, also, sorry, Daredevil is still... He's so close to being the modern day Daredevil because his whole thing is... He's called Daredevil because he's like, oh, he's got no fear, that kind of thing.
Yeah, man without fear.
Yeah. So his father died during the First World War.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously at the time the war was going on, America wasn't officially involved, but there was...
They're supplying weapons.
There was supplying weapons and troops
stuff,
and... that kind of thing.
Tactical analysis.
Yeah, so everyone was pretty aware that
America
was going to join.
Yeah.
They had a vote to see if people wanted conscription to be a thing again, and it was 67% in favor.
Yeah.
So he knew he would get conscripted because he's like 29, 30, that kind of age.
Yeah.
So
It's just a weird thing. Like, imagine nowadays it's like, we've got a war. Do you want your child to be forced to go to it? Like, who the hell would vote yes nowadays, you know?
Yeah, I mean, different time, I guess.
Yeah.
So his thing is, he wants desperate...
some hiccups going on today.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. He desperately doesn't want to go to war.
Right.
Because his father died, he was very close with his father, and he's got this fear in his mind that he will definitely die if he goes to war.
Okay.
So I want to have a look at the different ways that he would have kind of tried to get around it.
Okay.
So
becoming an actor.
Becoming actor is kind of his final go-to.
Right.
Because you have a look.
That's not an industry you can survive on.
No. But like what was his name? I got it down here. Elijah Muhammad was the leader of the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
That group really protested against
the war.
Conscription.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, but also conscription.
Yeah.
He was sent to jail.
Mm-hmm.
300 second-generation American Japanese men were sent to prison. So a lot of people who were saying, okay, I don't want to. There's a group of people who were like, I'm not going to protest, but I don't want to. So a lot of those went into medical.
Yeah.
But obviously George doesn't have any experience in medical.
Right.
And a whole lot of those were also just sent to jail.
Yeah.
So a whole load of people were imprisoned for this. But then there was this group which was doing entertainment for the troops.
Right.
And he finally gets a role there as...
that would be super interesting.
Yeah, he gets a role there as Daredevil, who's obviously a popular character at the time because everyone loved this comic. And it's all about this guy who sometimes fights supervillains, sometimes fights Nazis.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
same thing, am I right?
Too bloody right. But yeah, so he gets to. It wouldn't be like a film and it wouldn't be a TV show. It'd be like a series of short films that they show to the troops, that kind of thing.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. But then I think over the course of the film, they're like, okay, there's kind of too many people in this show. So one of the lesser characters, Meatball, gets killed off because that guy gets conscripted as well. And so it's kind of he's trying to do everything he can to not end up having to go.
That's a super cool idea.
And we'd get a lot of shots of the actual show, which will be very. If you saw like
campy,
if you saw the first ever Captain America film where he just has a gun, kind of that kind of thing. He's not like a muscular guy. He's
just kind of got a muscle suit on or something.
Yeah. That kind of thing. So that's my plan. I wanted Ethan Peck to play George, who's the grandson of George Peck. He's Spock in the new Star Trek show.
Okay, I've not seen that,
but he's pretty. Everyone's like, he's a pretty good Spock.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's my pitch for.
And would it be like? Would you have it black and white? Kind of like,
maybe,
really like of the time.
Yeah, I think he maybe would. And so the film would be called Daredevil Battles Hitler because that's the name of the show. That
would be good.
Yeah.
Though I'd say probably by kind of like the entertainment standards of the time, they'd say like it's illegal to profit against like immoral substance or something. So I'd say they'd probably like wouldn't have Hitler in the name of the show.
Oh yeah, maybe. Also, he's now in the public domain, so we can just do this.
Yes. I love when stuff goes public domain.
It's free real estate.
Cool. And would you do the usual Hollywood thing of having just like a bunch of 35-year-olds play the kids? That'd be funny.
I think they'd definitely have to be old enough to get conscripted, so 21 and up would be playing the kids.
Couldn't people go at 18?
Later on they could, but at the start it was just 21.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
So 18 to 21, I guess.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, and that's why they have to kill off Meatball, because in the comic they just, I guess, got tired of drawing Meatball. They're like, he's gone.
Or every time they were writing him, they got hungry and they were like, we've got to stop this. New York, eh? What a place.
But yeah, that's Daredevil Battles Hitler.
Cool, I'm on board for that. It sounds like, I don't know, I got like almost like a Scott Pilgrim vibe or something from it. I don't know what it, just like your description of it and stuff. Like I can pick it up. I think it'll be fun. Yeah, cool.
Well, that's it for me. That's that's as far as
that's the episode
goes.
Yeah, we've run on a little bit today, but that's all right. Thanks for listening. Anyway, we'll be back next week, and maybe we'll have a Spider-Man trailer to discuss. Maybe we'll have a Spider film to discuss. But we'll see. In the meantime, give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Deep Dive Cinema. Tweet us any suggestions you have. Share with your bloody mates and stuff. You know,
tell a friend hey,
these guys get 3 views a week, and they'd be really happy if they got 4.
4, yeah. That would really make our day.
Yeah, sure would.
Cheers.
All right, great. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Bye bye.